The city of Andale was a nice place to settle down before the war. Brandishing their title of the friendliest town in the USA ended up being a surefire way to get people flocking over to the city to see what exactly was so accepting about it. The town has held the award feverishly in its grasp for nearly 200 years, which would otherwise be impressive if there were more cities that survived the war and could compete against them. The remains of the town doesn't look like much on the surface, just a few families trying to make the best out of what little resources and shelter they have left over from the aftermath. Digging deeper warrants some curiosity towards a much darker secret held beneath the town's glowing personality. A city can't survive for over 2 centuries without a few resources running low every now and then, so they decided to switch their appetites to something a little more native. Take the time to rummage down in their garden shed, and there will be a buffet of human remains and flesh, some of which is even stored in the refrigerators labeled as strange meat. Haunting enough, yes, but this stronghold isn't the only place where they store their edibles and snacks. There's a second storage space in one of the family's basements that looks less like a storage space and more like a slaughterhouse. Mutilated and dismembered bodies are laid over the tables in helpless positions, where the family gored their victims before storing away their organs and meat for a nice healthy snack later on when they needed it. The act of engaging in cannibalism slowly started to be considered a delicacy after the Great War, and basic foods and water fell from pure to poison. That doesn't mean it isn't frowned upon, because if someone catches you gnawing on the wrong thing, there's a strong chance they'll still react with shock and disgust. Going to the town and conversing with the folk there is enough to pass Andale off as just an ordinary city trying to get by. At least you'd think that, until you stumble across the house of an old man. Harris is his name. Seeming delusional at first, you'll learn that he is the only man within a mile with any bit of reason still in his head. Treated as the dysfunctional old man at the end of the street, the rest of Andale censor his cries for help and his warnings to the outsiders that they are in danger of being captured and eaten if they stay for too long. According to him, the neighborhood clings to their title as the greatest town in the States as a facade, masking their less than common dietary habits. Practicing cannibalism became a nature more explored after the war limited food supplies for many cities. It doesn't take a brilliant mind to realize there's something a bit awry about a quiet, friendly town living peacefully in the middle of a radioactive wasteland. They're perfectly aware of the nature of what they're hiding, and they don't like it when other people make it a point to show up unannounced and start criticizing their diet plans. They treat every guest with their special brand of hostility. Poking around in Bill's garden shed without any welcome will get the attention of the locals, so be sure you're ready to have a fight on your hands when you exit. Open the door, and you'll suddenly find yourself swarmed with the local nutcases in an attempt to defend their little secret. They arrive with weapons and expect to have a fight on their hands as well, so be careful. After you're confronted, you have a few options on what to do next. A speech option will become available to you, and you can select it if you wish to talk your way around the fight instead of reaching for your holstered pistol. Unless you have the cannibal perk, however, this option will not guarantee you success depending on your speech level, and it's still possible for the locals to push back against you and start firing. The dark practice of cannibalism remains a tradition in the shady city of Andale. Still, the act of making such undesirable changes to your appetite is enough to turn friends into hostile enemies. Negative karma is rewarded to you if you decide to feed off of a corpse, which is more than enough proof that people still haven't warmed up to the idea of cannibalism as a way of survival and an alternative method of resource. To this day, the residents of Andale still show pride and honor in their title of the greatest town in the USA, and the way things are looking in the wasteland, it doesn't look like that title will be met with much competition. If there's something you want to see, tell us below. We're always taking requests. Until next time.